The world is chaos. Your mind is the fortress you choose to build within it. Understand this fundamental truth immediately. You are surrounded by noise, confusion, and forces you cannot direct. The environment is unstable, unpredictable, and ultimately indifferent to your desires. If you stake your peace on external conditions, you have already lost the battle before it has begun. You must accept that your life will contain financial volatility, physical decay, the incompetence of others, and random cruelties. To resist these facts is a delusion. To fight them is exhaustive, and it is a guaranteed path to suffering. Stop looking outward for stability. The only sustainable solution is internal construction. You must cultivate an inner citadel, a place of reason and virtue that external events cannot disturb. This citadel is not a retreat built out of fear. It is a strategic headquarters built out of necessity. It is founded upon rigorous self-assessment and disciplined judgment. You are the architect of this fortress. You are the sole garrison commander. You decide what enters and what is dismissed. If external disturbances penetrate your defenses, it is because you, the commander, authorized their entry. Your task is to make the internal landscape unassailable. Focus your total effort here. Discipline your thoughts. Vet your reactions. Build walls of solid, unyielding reason and use virtue as your unbreakable foundation. This inner work is the single most important action you will ever undertake. The chaotic world will continue to spin, but the noise will fail to reach the core of your being. Build the fortress and you become independent of the weather. This is the only way to achieve genuine, lasting tranquility. Get to work. Trying to control the world is a prison. Choosing your response is ultimate freedom. You cannot force outcomes. You cannot mandate that others behave rationally. You cannot stop the rain, reverse the market, or prevent sickness. When you attempt to grasp these uncontrollable external factors, you become enslaved by them. Your happiness becomes dependent on variables that operate outside your jurisdiction. This ceaseless striving to manage the unmanageable is exhausting and fundamentally illogical. You are locking yourself into a cage where the bars are built from frustrated desires. Break free from this delusion of comprehensive control. It is a trap. The chief task in life is to distinguish what is ours from what is not. This distinction is the master key to liberation. What is not yours? Your health, your reputation, your possessions, the approval of crowds, and the past. These are temporary assignments. They are external loans. When you try to secure them forever, you create anxiety. What is yours? Your capacity to judge, your moral character, your intentions, and your immediate actions. These reside exclusively within your mind and will. They cannot be taken from you or compromised without your consent. This internal domain is the territory of true freedom. Understand the boundary. Stop wasting energy on the externals, which are the domain of necessity and fate. Redirect every ounce of your focus toward the internal, the domain of voluntary choice. True freedom is not having the world conform to your wishes. True freedom is the unwavering ability to choose a rational and virtuous response regardless of the world's movements. You are free only where your power is absolute. That place is within. Claim your territory. You don't control the storm. You control the sailor. Master yourself. The storm, the external event, will always occur. It might be loud, destructive, and deeply inconvenient, but the event itself is inert. It holds no intrinsic moral charge, no inherent power to harm your soul. The damage is done not by the force of the wind, but by the skill and discipline of the one steering the ship. That sailor is your perception, your power of judgment. This is the critical mechanism of the inner fortress. It is not events that disturb us, but our interpretations of them. You feel pain not because of the layoff, but because you interpreted the layoff as a personal catastrophe. You feel fury not because of the insult, but because you judged the insult to be an intolerable attack on your honor. The event is just raw data. Your judgment is the processing system that assigns the value: good, bad, terrifying, or benign. Stop blaming the event. Blame your interpretation. This is harsh, but it is the truth that empowers you. If you can change the interpretation, you change the reaction, and you nullify the external threat. This mastery demands constant vigilance. You must catch the automatic negative judgments the moment they arise. Question them, challenge them, reject those that are irrational or based on external concerns. When a potential threat appears, recognize it simply as an external occurrence and refuse to attach harmful emotional weight to it. The world does not need to change for you to achieve peace. Your mind must be mastered. Control the sailor and you navigate any storm. Accept what you cannot change, not with defeat, but with fierce, focused clarity. Understand that acceptance is a prerequisite for power, not a sign of weakness. Weakness is the continued, irrational expenditure of energy fighting reality. True strength lies in accurately assessing the boundaries of your influence. When you rage against necessity, against natural laws, the decisions of others, or past occurrences, you are simply wasting your finite resources. This is strategic foolishness. You must stop mourning the reality that exists. See the situation for exactly what it is, stripped of your emotional preferences, and declare, "This is the current state of affairs." This act of acceptance is not passivity. It is the intelligent starting point for effective action on what you can influence. Clarity regarding the uncontrollable allows you to immediately allocate 100% of your remaining energy to the things within your control: your attitude, your next move, your effort, and your commitment to virtue. Acceptance is the pivot point. If you spend your time wishing things were different, you remain paralyzed. If you accept the unchangeable fact, you gain momentum. This acceptance is a fierce discipline. It requires mental toughness to look at a difficult, unyielding reality, a failed project, a broken relationship, a physical limitation, and say, "Fine, now what?" This is the voice of the rational mind taking command. Do not confuse this with resignation. Resignation bows its head and stops moving. Acceptance lifts its head, acknowledges the boundaries of the field, and then runs hard on the space that remains. Use clarity as your weapon. Accept the inevitable and immediately start working on the possible. Your power doesn't lie in forcing outcomes. Your power lies in your unwavering response. Forget the delusion that power means bending the universe to your will. That is the definition of arrogance and fragility. Outcomes are shared territory. They involve chance, other people's choices, and external forces. To tether your self-worth to a successful outcome that relies on these variables is to render yourself powerless. Re-evaluate your definition of strength. Your true, unassailable power resides in your internal state and how you deploy your rational will. Focus your efforts only on what is within your control, your judgments, opinions, and actions. This is where you are sovereign. Your power is the consistency of your effort, the quality of your intention, and the unwavering discipline of your moral choices. When you act with virtue, when you act with justice, courage, temperance, and wisdom, you are exercising absolute power regardless of the external result. If you choose to act honorably in a failing business, that choice is the success. If you choose to remain calm and rational when insulted, That choice is the triumph. The external event might still be messy, but your response is perfect and secure. This is the only power worth cultivating, because it is the only power you can never lose. Stop trying to manipulate the world into giving you what you want. Start concentrating on delivering the highest possible quality of effort into every moment. This shift in focus is the ultimate source of mental stability and effective action. Be powerful internally. The outcomes are simply external data points. Stop begging for an easier life. Start building an unshakable you. The instinct to seek comfort and avoid pain is natural, but it is also the quickest route to fragility. A life free from challenge is a life devoid of substance, leaving you soft and unprepared for the inevitable collision with reality. Do not pray for smooth sailing. Pray for a strong will and the resilience to weather the storms that must come. Struggle is not punishment. Struggle is the curriculum. Challenges are the necessary training ground for developing the inner fortress. The obstacle is not the barrier. It is the very material upon which you build your character and will. Think of every difficulty, the unfair boss, the tight deadline, the unexpected betrayal, not as an unfortunate interruption, but as an opportunity provided specifically to test and hone your capacity for reason. You do not discover true resilience during periods of ease. You forge it only under pressure. When a problem confronts you, do not ask, "Why me?" Ask, "What discipline does this demand of me?" Use the friction, use the unfairness, use the necessity of endurance. These moments reveal where your judgments are weak and where your self-mastery fails. They force you to clarify your values and practice your principles. Every time you face an adversity and choose a rational, disciplined response instead of an emotional collapse, you make your inner core stronger. You stop being a person defined by circumstances and start becoming a self defined by deliberate, tested strength. Build the unshakable self by embracing the necessary difficulty. They stole your promotion? Your peace is a territory they can never invade. External theft can take your property, your position, or your reputation. These are externals. They are perishable goods. But external actors cannot steal your internal peace unless you willingly hand it over. Your tranquility is a sovereign state. No person can inflict genuine, lasting harm upon your character or your rational will without your explicit permission. Understand that the perceived harm caused by the actions of others is entirely mediated by your judgment. Do not be harmed by the actions of others, for they only have power over you if you grant it with your judgment. If someone insults you, the insult is merely sound waves or ink marks. If they act unjustly toward you, their action is a reflection of their own flawed character, not yours. If you choose to judge these actions as catastrophic assaults on your core, then you weaponize their behavior against yourself. You become the instrument of your own suffering. Refuse to play this role. Recognize that their moral failing, their envy, their malice, their greed is a misfortune for them, but it is not a misfortune for you, provided you maintain your virtue. Their actions belong to the uncontrollable external world. Your response remains yours alone. You must protect your peace by refusing to give weight to their attempts to disturb you. Dismiss the offense. Do not internalize the toxicity. Maintain the perimeter of your fortress. Your inner peace is inviolable territory, provided you commit to defending it with disciplined reason. Worrying about opinions is a cage you built yourself. The key is in your hand. The desire for external validation, the longing to be praised, respected, or even just noticed favorably is one of the fastest ways to lose your self-possession. When you base your actions or your emotional state on the shifting, often arbitrary judgments of others, you forfeit your independence. You become a prisoner of the crowd's expectations, forever adjusting your behavior to appease masters who are themselves unstable and easily swayed. This is self-imposed slavery. The opinion of others is outside your control. Do not chain your happiness to it. Others will misunderstand you. They will judge your effort based on incomplete data. They will offer criticism or lavish praise, both of which are fundamentally external phenomena. Neither should be permitted to dictate your internal state or divert you from your chosen path of rational action. Recognize the sheer folly of pursuing external approval. Even if you achieve temporary acclaim, it is fleeting, and the effort required to maintain it distracts you from the essential task of cultivating your character. Stop granting authority over your peace to people's minds you cannot control. The cage is psychological. The bars are built from fear of disapproval and neediness. Throw away the need. Focus solely on performing the right action with pure intention. If others approve, that is irrelevant external noise. If they disapprove, that is equally irrelevant external noise. True freedom is found when the only court you seek to satisfy is the court of your own reason and moral integrity. Unlock the cage. Walk away from the expectations of the crowd. Your reaction is your signature. Make it one of strength, not emotion. Every time an external event pressures you, your response is recorded. It is the definitive statement of your character. Do you collapse into victimhood? Do you erupt in irrational fury? Or do you meet the challenge with disciplined composure? Your response defines your inner structure. Most people react immediately, emotionally, and destructively. This is the mark of an undisciplined mind. The Stoic response is slow, reasoned, and strategic. It affirms your total control over your inner life. Any person capable of angering you becomes your master, for they control your inner state. Anger is the ultimate surrender. It is a confession that an external stimulus, a rude driver, a negligent colleague, an unfair decision, has succeeded in penetrating your defenses and dictating your emotional condition. When you choose anger, you are handing the remote control of your mind to the offender. They win. You lose your peace, your rationality, and your dignity, all because you permitted their flawed action to govern your response. Do not grant them that power. Practice the delay. When challenged, create a momentary gap between the provocation and your action. In that gap, choose strength. Choose silence, or choose a measured, proportional, rational counteraction. Let your signature be one of unflappable self-command. Your response is the ultimate proof of your sovereignty. Control the reaction, and you control everything that truly matters. Your will is the only thing that can never be taken. Guard it with your life. We have established that all external circumstances, wealth, status, health, and reputation are precarious. They are exposed targets. They can be stolen, damaged, or stripped away by chance, fate, or malice. But there is one territory that remains absolutely yours, beyond the reach of emperors, thieves, and natural disaster. Your rational faculty, your voluntary choice to act with virtue. This is your defining human capacity, the core of your existence. You can be robbed of everything external, but no one can take your voluntary choice to act with virtue. They can torture your body, but they cannot compel your assent to a lie. They can seize your assets, but they cannot force you to feel resentment. They can insult you, but they cannot make you behave unjustly. The internal choice, the decision to apply reason, to adhere to justice, to exercise courage in the face of fear, remains locked inside your will. This freedom is the ultimate conclusion of self-mastery. It is the final, unassailable stronghold. This choice, this will, must be guarded with fierce devotion. It is the only thing that distinguishes you as a free, moral agent. Never surrender it to fear, anger, or external pressure. Live in a way that your essential moral integrity is preserved, regardless of the chaos surrounding you. This is the final freedom. This is the unconquered self. Maintain your will. Maintain your virtue. This is the only essential requirement for a life well lived.